What is going on, everybody? Even you, thumbs down, Frank. Got one thumbs down already. What's going on? Welcome to the Thursday night Q&A, where we take questions from Patreon and YouTube members, and then we take questions from all of you. We talk about guitar stuff for like an hour, and then we do some off-topic stuff too. So that'll be pretty cool. You'll notice that I'm in the wrong chair. I'm supposed to be over there, and there's no one right here. It's because Leslie, we had some schedule switch-o, change-o stuff this week, and so she should be back about time. I would say about time to go into the off-topic hour. I would say that's going to be about that. Tonight, we're going to talk about, I made an accusation in the thumbnail that many guitar players are super boring, and I'm going to show you how we are going to get around the boringness, because I've got something really, really cool to show you. So we're going to show you that in a minute. I want to let everybody know that we have an ad-free live stream as usual, because that's how we do it. So if you want to support the channel with the super chat, you want to support the channel with going to Dylan Talks Tone and buying some stuff, which I'm going to show you some really neat stuff. Also, I want to talk about a couple of links. Since we don't have sponsors for the channel, I figured I would share a couple of things that I think are really cool kind of going on this week. One, Texas Toast Guitars just released another series of guitars that is very cool. It's called the 57 Custom something, but basically what they are is Texas Toast Challengers, and they're appointed specifically. They've got stop bar tail pieces. There's some specific things. Go watch his video on TexasToastGuitars.com. And also, they're done in vintage Cadillac colors from like 1957, which is really, really neat. I think that's a really cool thing. And they have my pickups in them. So go check them out. That's pretty cool. The other thing is Father's Day is coming up. So there's a couple of places that are having some pretty cool sales. Spark Minis, Spark Goes, and the Spark headphones, Neo, is that what they're called? I think those are all on sale. You can go to positivegrid.com and you can use our link in the description. I think that should give you like free shipping or 10%, or there's something that it does if you use the link, excuse me, in the description. I can't remember. They change it up, like what the benefit is, so you just have to go try it. And then the other one is Fender. Have you seen? They got a bunch of sales, some 20% off stuff, and they've got a really cool pine body Telecaster made in the United States that is super sick for like $1,100. That's the one that caught my eye when I went over there to look at that stuff. You'll have to excuse me also, because I am running solo, obviously, so I'm trying to drive all this stuff at the same time. So therefore, I might be a little slow on the uptake when it comes to all of the questions and stuff. We got this super chat from 3J Music. Ad free is cool. Thank you so much, 3J Music. Okay, so let's talk about, and the other thing is, our buddy in the chat, Hans, sent me a sampler of whiskeys. And so I'm about to hit this one right now. It is, he took it out of his personal collection and bottled it up. Hopefully he didn't roofie me or anything. Elijah Craig. I am super stoked to try this because I really like Elijah Craig. I don't know which one this is. He sent me a piece of paper I can read about it. Tazzy Tim sent us a super chat. Ad free is for me. Thank you so much for your upside down money. I really appreciate that very much because he's down there in the Australias. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pour this thing in here. Well, I tell you, and we talk about, so here's my question. Why do you think, this is my question. Why do you think guitar players are so boring and traditional? And this isn't, that's obviously a very judgmental across the board statement to make, but you know what I'm talking about. I was thinking about it, and the reason I put the pictures in the thumbnail that I put in there, a sunburst Strat and a black Strat, is because sometimes that's all that's available, especially if you're a lefty. Um, it just is sort of weird that for many, many years, it was just kind of the same old, same old. So I think we're sort of stuck in a rut when it comes to how our guitars should look. And then but why are people so traditional? Why can't they break out of that? It's a weird thing. I don't get it. I personally, I don't get it. But I'll wear a pink shirt. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I have neat, crazy things. Like I'm not in one lane or the other. I'll try all kind of stuff. So maybe I'm the weird one, but I just think it's weird that guitar players are so stuck in a rut when it comes to this stuff. And we have another super chat from Charles Wallace. How do you feel about Epiphone using ebony and rosewood fretboards? And thanks for ad free. To be honest with you, I don't care. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me that. So, okay, let me say this. If they are responsibly and legally sourced, then I don't care what you use in your guitar. Technology is pretty neat, and you can do some pretty cool stuff with farming and where you get the wood and all that. A lot of the less expensive guitars, Harley Benton, and some other companies that I could tell you about, they do not have paper trails for all their wood, and they know they're getting them from illegal sources. I have had the conversations with the people that know this stuff, and I just can't support that. I just think it's stupid. So, as long as you can tell where it came from, and of course Gibson got busted for that, so they're really on top of it. I actually know the guy who sells them their wood, most of it, and he has told me kind of like where it comes from and how the paper trail works and all that kind of stuff, and it's pretty neat actually how it works. But it's not just exotic woods; it's a lot of different stuff, and you kind of have to know where it comes from. So, yeah. So I want to show you guys something. We, in an effort to get rid of, this whole all guitars look the same, right? White pick guard, black pick guard, cream pick guard. We're doing some really neat stuff, specifically with Strats, but there's more to it than that. This is the first ever made for market. Now, I experimented with this last week, and it was a kind of a prototype, but this is actually going to a customer tomorrow. I've got it sorted. It's really, really cool. A clear top Stratocaster pickup. So I want to tell you more about that. And I thought instead of trying to hold it up to the camera, we'll do this instead. So I give you a little closer look at what we got going with the acrylic tops. So these are a bunch of different colors. Now, we did not release all of them on day one. We only released the 4, but that's okay. All of these are available. So if they're around. So if there's something that you see, let me know. And the other thing is that all of these colors are actually, I have in stock right now. So if you wanted P90s this way, if you wanted Enduros this way, if you wanted humbuckers this way, Telecaster pickups this way, just let me know and we can make it happen in any of the colors that you see here. And we will post some stills that have real good lighting and show you what those are as well. I think we've got them on Facebook and on Instagram right now at Dylan Talks Tone, and then maybe we'll throw some after the live stream in the timeline for the YouTube channel. Now, one of the other things there's also matte gray, which is really cool. And we have more colors even than this, but I just didn't want to overwhelm the world with too much stuff. So a couple of questions that people may have is, let's talk about dimension. So the dimension of the top of the pickup, this is the clear one, is actually the same as what the Strat pickup cover is. So this is actually bigger than the bobbin. I wanted it to fit into the pickup, into the pick guard, nice, so that it fits. If you do it the bobbin size, it'll be too small. So I wanted it to fit real real nice. So, I mean, let's just show you with some of these other colors. See how that fits properly in there? Just gives you an idea. We'll throw a couple of these in here, and you can just kind of see how that fits real nice in there, and it will adjust properly with the pickup. The other thing is that we are putting protective tape on all of the pickups because they will not have full covers on them. So people were asking about, when I posted about this before, about if it will get damaged when you play it. Now a humbucker already is like this, so I would say don't concern yourself with it too much, and when it's properly adjusted in the guitar, it's really not going to stick up that much anyway. Okay? So don't stress about it too much. This particular pickup has that Captain tape around it, and we're probably going to pick colors of protective tape that complement what we've got going here so that it doesn't look too stupid, right? I don't know that I would put this on every color, but we're going to make sure that we do. And then, of course, we've got the regular black pickup tape, and we've got some other ideas too. So when you get your pickup, it's going to look nice. It's going to have a complementing color around the outside, and it is also going to be protected so that you don't have to worry when you play the guitar. The sound of the pickup, the tone of the pickup is going to be exactly the same as the model that you order it in was before. So this is a Dylan Talks Tone Hot 5, and it'll sound exactly the same. In fact, this is going out to a customer already. The person that gave me this idea in the first place, this is his pickup. So, yeah, this is very cool. And of course, we have clear humbuckers available as well. So if you want to do a full set, let me know. The other thing that we're probably going to do at some point is do pick guards that will match the color. So if that's something that you want, let me know, and we'll do a loaded pick guard and it will all match. That'd be pretty rad too. Anyway, give you a little idea. So there you go. Pretty cool, right? I thought, you know, that might be a little more effective way to show you what we got going when we launch new stuff during these live streams. Just a little video about it. Hang on, we got a super chat coming from Vinny's World. And he says, look at it the other way. Electric guitars have much more variety than any other musical instrument. Musical instruments are generally traditional. No, that's true. That's true. I don't see too many like Paisley tubas. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, that you're right on there. Tell you what, let's go ahead and go through some of these. Well, let's answer a couple of questions about these pickups that we just launched. They're available on the website now. And like we said in the comments, or in the comments in that little video, if there's any other of our other pickups that you want, somebody mentioned here in the chat that they, I think Warheart Arts said, I'd like to have that green in a humbucker. Send me a message on the chat on the website and we'll get a set going for you. I have enough material, I can do that. And we put them into a pickup ring and it looks really great. You've seen, if you go to the pickup vault section of our website, you'll see where we've done a bunch of that different stuff with different humbuckers and different materials. It's just hard for me to curate the website with so many different colors. So we just know that I have all of those materials available. So if you want it on a P90, if you want it on an Enduro, if you want it on any of that kind of stuff, we'll do all of it. I'll do any of it. So yeah, super cool. Let's see. These would be great for direct mount. Yes, absolutely. I agree. And let's see. Will these colors improve my tone? Yeah, because if your guitar's ugly right now and you don't really like it, chances are you're not playing very well. So I think they will. It definitely will. Yeah, Warheart Arts, if you want the green swirl in a humbucker, I got you. We actually have that same material in blue too. I forgot to throw that in the pile, but we have that same material in blue if anybody's interested in that. Okay, let's go ahead and go through some of these Patreon questions and get some of your thoughts on this stuff as well. If you have questions If you have questions, put them in the chat and I will do my best to catch them. Obviously, I'm going solo tonight and I'm trying to go as fast as, as effectively as I can. Doc on YouTube, he's a YouTube member and he wants to know, happy National Paperclip Day, Leslie and Dylan. A little aside to that, my brother, have you ever heard about the guy who got the house from the paperclip? There's a book. I can't remember who wrote it, but it's the guy that did it. He traded a paperclip, I think, for a ballpoint pen. And then he traded the ballpoint pen for something, ended up trading and got a house. And so my brother was very inspired by that guy, and he is a wheeler dealer because of that guy. On the topic of boring, juniors are simple guitars by nature, but are they boring guitars? I suppose that is a matter of perspective, wouldn't you say? Because, I think it more has to do with inspiration. What inspires you? If a Sunburst Strat with a white pickguard inspires you, that's fine. I think what happens though is nobody ever steps outside of what they already know for inspiration. Then is it really inspiration anymore? You know what I mean? I wouldn't want only juniors. I want some. I have 3 or 4. I want some, but I don't want only them, right? It inspires a certain thing. So that is for sure. If you want your question considered from the chat and you do not use a super chat, please put a bunch of question marks in front of it because I'm literally just trying to catch them and mark them to get to them here in a few minutes. Let's see. We got Shane. Good morning, lovable Leslie and Dovey Dylan. Okay, Leslie's not here, but she will be, I think, in a little bit. I've been staring down a Japanese Zamitis, not a boring guitar, a beautiful LO style single cut, but with 24 frets. And I was wondering, why do so few companies make 24 fret single cuts? Is the process of moving the neck pickup 2 centimeters too much of a tone sacrifice? I've talked to guitar designers about this, and there's a couple of things. One is the moving of the pickup does change how the pickup sounds, obviously, because it puts it in a different spot in the node. I think a bigger one, though, is the design of the guitar itself to support the neck joint. So if you put a humbucker in a 24 fret guitar and you want to keep it as close to the edge of the guitar as possible and not move it too close to the bridge pickup, then what happens is when you route the neck pickup in there, you put a big hole in the neck joint. So I think it more depends on the engineering of the neck joint. Think of, okay, I'll give you a great example of this. A Gibson SG does not have 24 frets. And the reason it doesn't, well, it's because it's a Gibson. But also, when you think about a Gibson SG, it's got that little gap in the middle that is the neck joint that has to be kind of like covered up with a little plastic thing or the pick guard or however they do that, depends on the model. When Texas Toast Guitars makes their SG style guitar, they call it their prostitute, it's a 24 fret guitar, but it's neck through. So they don't have to worry about the structural stability of routing a hole right where the neck glues. Because here's how that works. You glue the neck onto the guitar and then you route the pickup route. Well, the problem is if that's the strength of it and you just routed it all away, then you have that problem of the early juniors where they did that, or specials. If you'll recall, the early, so like the 58 Les Paul Special had P90 in the neck and in the bridge. But if you look at a 60, there's a gap and they moved the pickup. It was because of neck situation. So yeah, that's a great question, but I think it has more to do with, it's probably a combination of those things. The architecture of it as well as the tone of it. Probably more the architecture though. Garner. Good evening, Leslie and Dylan. The aluminum headless has me has got me thinking about aluminum and wood combos. Yes. Wouldn't that be cool? Yes. Only because the thin plates look uncomfortable. They're not as bad as you would think. Is there anything out there more traditional, solid plate top and bottom with a nice wooden edge all around? Yes, Yamaha makes one. It's very cool. Basically it's a guitar-shaped guitar, but it's a thin piece of wood that goes all the way around. It would be a complete hollow chambered body, maybe even laser engrave the tops. Yeah, there's lots of neat things you could do if people would allow their imaginations to get there. I was thinking, because I bought a revolver last weekend, and I was shopping for stocks for it. So I was looking through various like walnut and stuff. And that's what it made me think of, because I was looking at, because it's a stainless revolver. So I was like, what would look good on this stainless wood wise? So I was going through all the colors, and I'm like, this natural walnut would be really cool. And then I got to thinking about that guitar right there, and I'm like, that one's a little edgy in the metal, super metal. But if you designed a guitar like this with like walnut appointments and aluminum, man, you could do some really neat stuff with combos of materials. I'm with you. I think it's a very cool thing. I think it's a cool idea. I dig it a lot. Let's see what else we got. Rob, hello, Leslie and Dylan. On Tuesday, Dylan mentioned he preferred modern wiring for his P90s. I do. Please describe the difference between vintage and modern wiring for two P90s with a three-way switch, single volume, and single tone pots. Thank you. So what it is it's where the tone is grounded. And so the way we do it is we ground the tone. I'll tell you what the modern one is. I can't remember what the vintage one is. I can visualize it, but I don't know if I have it right in my head, because I did not prepare this ahead of time. I don't usually look at these ahead of time. So it's the modern one is if you take the outside, when you're looking at the volume pot, the tone pot, it's got three legs on it. If you run the cap from the middle one and ground it to the back of the pot, and then take this leg, so we're looking at the back of the pot right here, and then take this leg and go to the volume pot, that's modern wiring. If you take one of the sides and go ground it to the back of the pot like a volume, and then take the center one and go to the outside edge of the volume, that's 50s. And it just changes how it works. Yes. Yeah, good question. I'll do a video on it maybe, and I'll show you what the actual thing is. All right, so if you guys have guitar questions, get them in the chat over here, and I am going to try to keep up with you. Tazzy Tim, is it possible to have black poles or just use a Sharpie? If you use a Sharpie, it'll come off. I just did a black screw Enduro, or a black magnet Enduro. I'm still perfecting that, but I use gun bluing to do it. So you could actually do that on your pickup. I don't think it would hurt anything, but I do the magnets ahead of time. So I wouldn't do it. But if you wanted them black, you could do it, but you have to pay extra for it. They're not, it's time. I literally have to do it by hand. So yeah, but we could totally do it. Charles Wallace, Dakota Red and matching pick guard. That would be sick. So here's the other thing about what we're talking about with this stuff. Oh, hang on, Doc. Here we go, Doc. Actually, I'm going to put this on the screen. I don't normally do this for these comments, but I'm going to put, so you can visualize this, maybe screenshot it. 50s wiring puts the cap between L2 of the volume and L3 of the tone pot. Thank you. That's what it is. And then the other one is grounded instead of the cap being grounded itself. Yes, exactly. Thank you for doing that. Let's see. So yeah, we can acid. I used acid on magnets before, and it works pretty awesome. So Charles' comment there about this. Also, the other thing we can do, and I'm working actually on one for Kyle right now, pricing it out because it's a Jazzmaster and it takes a lot of material. But what we're doing right now is we can do a matching pick guard. So let's say you take your green swirl. You want a green swirl. Let's say you want a single hum green swirl pick guard, loaded pick guard, right? What we would do is I would make the top of the pickup bobbins and the pickup cover when I cut the pick guard. And we would keep that together as a set so that when you put the guitar together and you put the pickups in it, well, I would send it to you built. Then the pattern, because it's these swirls and stuff, and some of the patterns are more pronounced than others, you know, as far as like the repeatability or the randomness of the patterns, to where it will all be one contiguous pattern that will go through the pick guard and through the pickups, which is really cool. Really cool. It's a neat thing. Let's see. Yeah, so I think we've been kind of conditioned over time to just have and expect the same thing over and over again. And I don't like that. I want to break that mold. So you're going to see us continue to add, while we make cream and black and chrome, we're going to make cooler and cooler stuff. And I hope y'all dig it. And if you don't dig it, tell somebody. If you have a friend that likes wild stuff and you don't, tell them that we do it, if you wouldn't mind, because I'm really excited about it. Yeah. What is your favorite boutique pickup other than yours? It depends on the pickup. I like Lawler Imperials. I like Lawler wide ranges. I like, dang it. Tim McNelly, everything. Like Tim McNelly makes a lot of neat stuff. Those would be my favorites off the top of my head that I could think of. I like other stuff too. I actually really like, some of the Seymour Duncan antiquities. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them. I don't know, those aren't boutique pickups, but those are, you know, like they're custom shops. And I like them. And I like some Fender custom shop pickups too. I have a bunch. And nothing wrong with any of that stuff. I just know what I'm looking for when I build something. And so I just created a different flavor. You know what I mean? That's what it really is when it comes to it. Spalt Guitars Apex. Oh, dude. Spalt Guitars in general. If Spalt, if you don't know who Spalt Guitars is, you should at least Google them for some. Okay, let's say this. You know what I'm doing. Okay. Now he does a lot of this stuff where it's all hand shaped and wood laminates and like all kinds of crazy stuff. So go look at his website and get some ideas and then come back and be like, okay, what can we do to make a cool guitar? Because I can't do some of the stuff that he can do because he does a lot of that stuff, like hand carving stuff. But man, it's neat. Plastics and really, really cool stuff. Yeah, I've followed Spalt Guitars for many years. Why do I like stacked single coil humbuckers but hate the rail style? I don't know because I don't like either of them. I will make a video. Robbie F. Just ordered a Sire LP with P90s. Oh, dude, hit me up then. You're going to need them and you're going to want them. Definitely. You're going to want to replace those. So that'll be awesome. And we can do really fun stuff with colors with P90s too. So yeah, get with me when you're ready. In the wood world, we would call that grain matching. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yep. That is exactly right. Let's see. Why are we opposite? Yeah, I know. It's the same thing with me. It's not necessarily that I'm opposite. Okay, so it's a funny thing. Like, I prefer things, but I'll have everything. Like, if you look, I mean, I just did that video, right? I have no. There is some rhyme or reason. Now, obviously, I just did that video with all my guitars in it, and I like certain things, but I like all the things. So I just like certain things about all the things, if that makes sense. It's the same way in all my stuff. My knife collection, my gun collection, my fountain pen collection, my cars the cars are specific. That's probably one thing where I don't want to say I don't explore, because I've owned, I don't know, 50, 60 cars. So I do explore, but I know what I want when I drive something. Spalt Instruments. Yeah, that's right. Yep. Yep. I think the Fender 63 Tele set is underrated. I actually have a set of those, and I agree. They are very good. It's my go-to recommendation for a cheap upgrade to a classic vibe. Yeah, so I wouldn't put those in a classic vibe because the fretboard radius and the construction of the guitar needs, in my opinion, needs a more modern take. But that's why we did the flat 6 Tele pickups, because they don't have staggered pull pieces. They're flat. They have, and they work really, really well in that setup. That's exactly why we did that. I actually had a friend of mine had a 66, and he gave me that guitar for a while. And so I designed the flat 6s after that 66. And then I bought, I think I bought some 63 custom shop pickups. I think I bought some, I don't know, a bunch of older Fender pickups. And experimented, and that's where I came out. The idea was to do exactly what we were talking about. Make a good replacement pickup for a wide range of guitars that would be better than, and I mean, I think they sound awesome. You play them right next to an early 60s Tele, like a real one, and they're right in there. But they work with more guitars. All that staggered pull piece stuff from the 60s is really meant for old string technology that we don't use anymore. And so, we don't need it. We don't need it anymore. Yeah. Let's see. What else we got? What do y'all think? So let me ask you this, since we're talking about and everybody has different tastes. So you saw my entire guitar collection the other day, except for there's 3 guitars I didn't show you. I didn't show you the Somnium guitar. I didn't show you the one of my carbon fiber guitars that's not here, close. And I didn't show you it's just a piece of junk. It's like a body and a neck in the garage. I didn't show you. What was the most surprising, or like, wow, I can't believe you have one of those, or that doesn't fit what you do, or I can't believe you have that. I would never own that, or, whatever. Like completely opposite. Let's say this. What was the most completely opposite guitar that, like, in opposite land, like that you would never own, or that you were really surprised that I own? Let's say that. Get in the comments and let me know what you think. I'm just curious, because I have all this stuff and I'm like, I love all of them. And so I don't think about it. Like once I really like something, I don't think about like, oh, this is weird. You know what I mean? Like I don't think about it like that anymore. Interesting chat. Oh, Kyle. What's up, Kyle? Super chat from Kyle. The DAFs made me a humbucker guy. Excellent. That's what we wanted to hear. And Kyle, I am working on, so I've never made a Jazzmaster pickguard. And so I am securing the correct drawings for it. And it takes some time to make sure that, like, usually what I do is I actually buy the drawing from somebody who I trust to make it correct. But you still have to scale everything. And you still have to, like, the kerf of your laser could be different. Meaning, like, when you cut with the laser, how wide is the line? And so making sure that all of the measurements translate from the drawing to scale correctly to what an actual Jazzmaster pickguard is, and then make sure that all the screw holes are in the right place and all that kind of stuff. It takes some time to get there. I'm working on it. So it's coming. Nothing surprises me from you. Thanks. I appreciate that, actually, because I don't feel like, and I think this is my whole point of talking about this stuff earlier, and like I'm going to make all this crazy stuff, is like, why does anything need to be crazy? It should be, I just feel like this is music. This is creativity. Why aren't we exploring the edges? Why is everybody staying? Not everybody. Many of you are not. But why do we have a tendency to stay in the middle of a creative space? I guess that's what I'm getting at. And I understand that people are like, well, with music especially, it's one of those, like, there's that psychological thing about, like, when you're a teenager, you never, like, explore after that, your music and stuff. So it's the same thing with guitar tones. Like, if you grew up in mullet rock land, you're going to want to have all your guitars sound like Leonard Skinner. I get that. But then I don't get it. I'm like, okay, enough is enough already. You know what I mean? Anyway, interesting conversation. Most pickups fall into a few shapes: single coil, humbucker, and P90. Who's going to make a better PRS narrow field pickup? You? No, I won't, and I'll tell you why. Because that guitar is not going to be around very long. Somebody with a really niche-y, somebody who makes their living off of making one-off niche-y stuff might do it, but you're going to pay a lot of money for it. But I personally don't think that. Talk to me again in 5 years when the sales numbers of those reach what Silver Sky sales numbers reach. If that thing surpasses Silver Sky numbers in sales in the next 5 years, I will make a pickup for it. And remember I said that. But until then, I don't think so. And they have to make an SE version of that for that to really pay off. The volume's not there for me to do it. I've had 3 people ever ask me about it. And when 3 people ask me about it, that means nobody actually gets out their wallet. One of the things you have to remember about this is you should make such and such does not mean, hey, I will call you right after the show and give you my credit card number. There's a big gap there. And I need a lot of people to say that for me to do stuff sometimes. And to be honest with you, I'm really going out on a limb making all this stuff because people might hate it. I'm doing this because this is a creative outlet for me, because I get tired of making, I've made, I don't know, 12,000 pickups or something now. I can do it in my sleep. So let me try to be creative myself from the manufacturing standpoint. And that's what makes it fun. So I hope that y'all think it's fun too, and that you actually buy them. And then everybody wins. And if you don't, and you just go back to buying regular black and cream, whatever, I'll make those too still. That's totally fine. But like on that kind of one-offy stuff, it's not cost effective for me to do it, because we are, it creates a bump in the road. It's hours and hours and hours and days and days and days to come up with that stuff. You ever toyed with building Filtertrons? Yeah, they're too expensive to make. PAF sized ones, we do make them. I would be happy to make you a set if you buy them. Jazzmaster pickguards are hard because the traditional ones, there is no play between the pickup cavities and the openings in the pickguard. Yes, that is something that I want to correct. This is also, I don't sell pickguards. We're going to make loaded pickguards. And so I will make sure, because we will make the pickups, that they fit in the guitars. So that's something that I really care about. Yeah. Between me and you, left-handed people are creative. They are. We are. Absolutely. A lot of people want to be creative, but aren't into it enough to push boundaries. Yeah. I get that. Yep, I get that. I want a telly, but I really want a steampunk telly that looks like it was dug out of post-apocalyptic landfill. Dude, I'm all in. There's some really fun stuff that you can do with brass. In fact, hang on, I'll show you something really cool. I made this last night. I didn't make this. This is a Buck 110 that I engraved last night. So there's some really neat stuff with brass. So you could do some really fun stuff, but you would have to, and colors, and yeah, there's some really neat stuff that you could do. It'd be super cool. Yeah, steampunk's neat. I did a steampunk telly one time with a guy. Actually, I gave it. It was a Jazzmaster. Actually, now that I think about it, I gave it to my friend. He has it now. But we had like clock gears for like watch gears for like fret markers, and like it was a really neat guitar. I don't know. I might have pictures of that somewhere. Let's see. For creativity, I like non-traditional shapes and materials that have the right form, fit, and function. I agree. Yeah, it can't be so crazy that it hurts to play it. I mean, I get that. Would you recommend your new custom pickup covers that match the guitar or contrast the guitar color? I don't know. That right there is going to be up to you. I don't know. That's going to be if you're on so if you're on Patreon, we have our little running chat. I don't know if you are, but we have our little running chat. That'd be a thing where you could go in there and not get flamed for asking, and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and conceptualize this with a couple other people. Or you actually, our Facebook group, the Dylan Talks Tone Insiders Facebook group on Facebook is a pretty safe place to do that too. You won't get super flamed for anything. Like, there's no jerks in there. I just don't allow it. So there's no jerks in there. That is a guitar group that you can go and actually hang out and ask those kind of questions and get ideas. Oh my God, don't trigger me. I have issues with lefties playing right-handed. Well, consider yourself triggered, because that's what I do. Um, could you make a heat colored steel pick guard? I do not have the technology. Well, I don't have the resources to make metal stuff that big. I can't cut metal. That's the one thing I cannot do. That would be amazing if I could. I would love to make aluminum pick guards, but you wouldn't want to pay what they cost. I would love to do a bunch of that stuff made in the United States, but you'd be looking at $200 for a pick guard, probably more. It's that stuff is expensive because I've looked into it. I've looked into water jetting carbon fiber and water jetting aluminum, and then anodizing, having the aluminum anodized or cerakoted. And so I've looked into it, but it's one of those things again where 3 people say they want it. Nobody actually buys it. It would cost me probably 20 grand, I would say, to be like, let's make a line of and do all the R&D and all that. So, it would be a fair jump into that. And so you would end up having to make, what is that? 100 times. You probably end up having to make 300, 400 pick guards before you're like even into it. And it would just be such an undertaking. Those are the kind of things you got to think about from the business standpoint of this, because the ideas are all really cool and I really love them. But one of the things that we can do here with this stuff is it's super scalable and easier. It takes hours. I've been working on this every night and all weekend for a week to get this to where I can scale it now. So it takes a long time. It's a lot of work, but it's within my ability to be able to do it. So the other thing we can do that's really neat is some of those colors, just FYI, some of those colors are actually engraved through. What that means is you can have a blue, let's say you take, and I'm going to do a pick guard like this tomorrow probably. You can take, I think in that picture, there was a gunmetal blue metallic. That's actually a carve through acrylic. So we could actually you'd use one laser to cut the acrylic out to whatever shape you wanted for like a tele pick guard or a strap pick guard or whatever. And then we go take it to the other laser and we could like engrave a dragon on it. And it would be black in the metallic blue or whatever color. There's so many possibilities. You just have to be willing to do it and want to do it and to pay for it. I mean, it's not cheap, right? Like these pickups are $20 more than a regular one, but it's the time it takes and the material. This material is honestly more expensive than regular flat work and a cover. So, well, it's probably about the same actually, but it's just way more time. For example, to press this bobbin together takes me like 4 times as long because the risk of cracking it. So there has been this week a fair amount of attrition of parts coming, breaking stuff and chipping stuff and, until I got it really figured out. So yeah, it's been a whole thing, but it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed doing it. Let's see. Hang on. I'm going to catch up here. Heat treated. Let's see. What's the best way to contact you to order custom dimensioned flat work? Shoot me an email, dylan@dylanpickups.com, and we will do that. Please, if you can, put as much detail in the email as possible. If you have files, drawings, I'm not going to do a bunch of custom drawings and spend all that time. You have to give me drawings for that to work, because I can't be responsible for if it fits in your guitar or not. You have to take responsibility for the design. I will cut it for you and scale it. Has anyone ever asked who your favorite guitar builder luthier is? If not, who is it? I would say Dan Erlewine is my god, but your attitude makes you a close. Wow. Okay. So I'm going to screenshot that junk. That's like the best compliment I've gotten in a long time. If you put my name in the same sentence as Dan Erlewine for that kind of compliment, even though I just think he's an old man that's a guitar tech, but he is so respected by so many people. Dude, that's rad. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's tough for me to have a favorite. Because I don't look at I'll tell you my favorite is definitely Matt Flaherty from Texas Toast Guitars. It's because he and I are very good friends. And he and I have had conversations not related to guitars. Let me tell you. So when I go to Colorado, if you ever hear me joking about staying at the Flaherty RV park, what it is his house has a really weird angled street. And so I have my Sprinter van, and I put 2 wheels on the curb and 2 wheels on the street, and it's relatively level. And I just park in front of his house, which is a few miles from his shop. And then we go to the shop and we work. He'll open his screen door at 5:30 in the morning. And that's how I know to come in for coffee. We'll sit there and talk about stuff. We'll have coffee. And this is where all of these crazy ideas that him and I have ever come up with, doing these workshops together and guitar builds and the gasser model that we carry, and all those things have happened from 5 o'clock in the morning coffee with Matt. And then to spend weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks in his shop. I've been there for long periods of time, cumulatively. I like to understand why people do things. And so his guitars are not a marketing exercise. His guitars are not because I think I can sell them. His guitars are, I want to try this and see if it's cool. Oh, this is cool. And then he's had to work for a decade to get people to want the guitars that he sells. And now they're starting to sell. I like that idea. There's a bunch of guys that are super cool. I love Carlos Lopez. He's another one that I've spoken with. We're good friends and I talk to him a lot. And he has a really cool story. He started sweeping floors at Fender, ended up being in the custom shop. Now he's off doing his own thing. So I like him for different reasons because he has a different type of experience. So for me, it's actually not necessarily about the guitars themselves, although the guitars have to be good. It's about the person and the personality behind it that makes it awesome. So I would say Carlos Lopez, Matt Flaherty, and then the other one would be Anthony Sims from Lucky Dog. He's another one that he's not an early morning one, but I've sat in his shop, me and him just twiddling pencils and goofing around until midnight, talking about anything from, anything. I'll talk with him about anything, stuff that I won't talk about on the internet. I like that guy a lot. He's a good man. And that's why I like, and his guitars are unbelievable. I own a bunch of Texas Toast stuff. I do not have a Castadosa from Carlos Lopez, and that I will own one. And I do not have a Lucky Dog, and I will own one at some point for both of those. Absolutely. Let's see. I'll show you next Patreon meet. Okay, cool. What are your latest plans for the next aluminum beast? It's going to get new pickups, and then I have some other ideas for it. I think I'm going to Cerakote some parts and etc. We're going to take it all apart. And I'm going to send it to the Cerakoter. Awesome. Yeah, this is super fun. I wonder when Leslie is going to be back. I wonder if she's going to make it for off-topic hour. I wonder if she has texted me. Yeah, so if you have any more guitar questions, we have a few more on-topic stuff before we get to off-topic stuff. So that'll be cool. Let me see how close she is to being home. I don't know if she's going to make it or not. Oh, she is. Yeah, she'll be on her way in a few minutes. Cool. She's only a few minutes away. Is there a big difference making pickups for aluminum? Probably not. No, not really. So on a guitar like that, I think this is where this is an interesting question. The idea that you would search that you would this is what I would try to get people to get out of their heads. Don't spend any time shopping for the material. Shop for the purpose. And if your pickup builder is knowledgeable, then he will be able to give you what you want. Now, it could be a little more iffy if you're just going to Sweetwater or you're going to Seymour Duncan and like trying to click on their little boxes that are like clarity and, all that. But if you have, let's say you have, because you could do a lot of different things. You could take a Zamitis, which has an aluminum top. And you could say, I want to do this and that, and I want to make it into a jazz guitar. What do I do? You could take the same guitar and make it into like some shred fest thing, right? We could make that into that would be really cool as, in my opinion, not even as a metal guitar. I think it would be cool as a like fusion jazz instrument. That's, to me, when I play that guitar, okay, I'm not a fusion jazz guitarist, but that guitar, I have a friend who is, and I was thinking about actually bringing him in for a video with it. That guitar would make a really good fusion instrument. And the pickup choice would be different. The guitar would be the same. The materials would be the same, but the pickup choice would be different. I think on the whole, if people would stop worrying about what the guitar was made of and focus on the purpose of it. So what are you going to use the guitar for? What is your rig? How are you, like, what do you want to do? What is the end result that you want to do? I can get you there, right? And there's a bunch of other pickup builders that can. I can get you there. Now, if you call up a pickup builder and he says, well, in order to do that, you're going to need mahogany that was harvested on a Wednesday when it wasn't raining, between the years of, and I need to count the grain. Just hang up on that guy. Just hang up on that guy. But if you have a guy who's like, or a gal who designs pickups, it doesn't have to be me. I'm just saying who will have the conversation with you and you can design your sound around what you want to do with the guitar, not what the guitar is made of. I just wish people would just completely switch to that. Because to be honest with you, and I said this all the time, I'm stealing this actually from Chris Fesker at Texas Toast Guitars. He talks about the material that the guitar is made of doesn't it's not necessarily about the tone of the guitar as much as it is, and if you are honest with yourself, you'll admit this. It is more about the player experience than it is about the tone. So if you have a guitar that is really dead feeling and does not feel lively, you may not like that. Now, some guitars need that. Some guitars are made that way. A Les Paul is heavy, right? Like it's heavy. But if if you pick up a mid-2000s Telecaster made in Mexico, it's a boat anchor of a thing. A 70s Bernie Les Paul. Everybody wants one of those because they think they're so cool. Those are piles of trash. It's like playing a cast iron freaking boat anchor. They're garbage because they just feel dead. And they have terrible pickups in them too. So if you worry more about that, like, okay, the guitar feels how I want, it's balanced how I want. Okay, now I want to make it sound how I want. We can do that. We can absolutely do that. Let's see. All right. Well, it's 9 o'clock. So here's what this means. It's off-topic hour. So you can ask any question you want. Any question. And I need hockey scores. We're not going super late tonight because it's an elimination game and we're really getting down to it here. So I need hockey scores. If anybody's got hockey scores, please put them in the chat so we know what's going on. Because I think the first period should be just about getting over. Or maybe 2/3 of the way through the first period. So that'd be great to know. Off topic. What does everybody want to talk about off topic wise? I'm going to Blade Show next weekend. I'm really excited. I have been saving up some cash, so that's super cool. I don't know what I want. I don't really have a plan. This is the first time that I've actually been ready to go to Blade Show with no like, I want this knife when I get there, and I'm going to search for this knife when I get there, and et cetera, et cetera. I don't have anything. So I'm really excited because I saved up a fair amount of money. And I'm ready. I save all year. This is like one of the things I save all year for. Just little cash here and there, like whatever. Like piggy bank. Literally, like this is literally a piggy bank thing for me. So I'm kind of excited. About it. And then I did get I got a new gun last week because Memorial Day sale at Palmetto State Armory. They had Smith & Wesson 686s. I got a Smith & Wesson 686 revolver 357 6-inch for like half. I wasn't going to do it, but I was like, man, half. And I've been wanting one of these things. Matt's got one. He peer pressured me into it. So I got that. But it's got those rubber grips. So I'm going to go ahead and get some. I got some walnut grips coming for it, which is pretty cool. Guitar questions after 9 o'clock have to be in a super chat. You are going to ask off-topic questions after 9 o'clock only, unless it's in a super chat. If it's in a super chat, I'll answer it. Let's see. Hit like. Yeah. Hit like. Thanks, man. The 6.8. Dude, I know. I couldn't believe it. I was literally scrolling. I have a receiver, a lower receiver for something else in there. And I was like, I'm going to buy a build kit around this or something. I don't know. I actually wasn't going to do anything because I'm going to Blade Show. So that's like my all-time like focus right now. Like I don't want to spend any extra money. I don't want to, because I don't want to dip into my piggy bank that I've been. And man, I'm scrolling. I'm like, I literally was like, whoa, double take. It's half. almost half, like just a little over. I was like maybe 40% off. I'm like, what in the world? There's no way. So I had to have it. And they're only 1 day away from me, which is really cool. So I think I ordered it on Monday and I got it. I got it yesterday, actually. The shop, I have a membership at a range. And so the guy, my buddy Steve, called me from the range and he's like, hey, I got another pistol in here for you. You want to come get it? And I'm like, yeah. So I went over there and I didn't have any ammo for it because I don't have one of those. But I shot it. It was super fun. Now I bought grips for it last night. Now I'm looking for it. I'm probably going to buy a Wilson Combat mainspring for it. And like, I don't know. It's super neat. It's just it's a neat thing. You take the side cover off of those and it's just like anything else for me. It's like a pocket knife. It's like a guitar. It's like anything. The engineering that goes into stuff is what really sucks me in. Like it's fascinating to me. Like, how much does it cost to engineer that? And I know, like, this is not an inexpensive knife. I know, like, what this thing costs. And then people would be like, holy crap, I can't believe. But then you're like, okay, to make this work is bonkers. So neat. I love how things work, man. I love how things work. It's Victoria G. I got my tattoo last Friday. I didn't chicken out, and I got it finished. 3.5 hours. Pietro from the video game Animal Crossing. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Hurt less than breaking my hand or tooth abscess. Pre-root canal. Well, yeah. Yeah. Are you going to get another one? That's what I want to know. Now that you have one, are you going to get another one? Because once you have one, holy smokes, it does not stop. I've not bought anything in a while. California has an 11% excise. Yeah, I saw that. That's interesting. Oh my gosh. This is a little bit guitar related, but it's not. I have to order. Well, it is guitar related, so maybe I shouldn't. But it's sort of off topic because it's. Anyway, I'm about to have to pay $400 in tariffs on something coming. It's ridiculous. But it's whatever. I'm going to try not to raise prices over it. But man, it's getting hard. It's getting hard. I told Leslie, I was like, the last time a lot of prices went up, I was like, if they go up any more, I'm going to have to raise prices on pickups. And then I get this and I'm like, oh man, I really don't want to. So if you're going to buy pickups from me, try to buy a hat or something, or buy this custom stuff. I will tell you that, and I know this is a little pickup related, but that's one of the reasons I'm doing it, is because I like to do it, but also it will soak up a lot of this and I won't have to raise prices. So that's cool. Yeah, I don't want to raise any. Yeah, what's your next tattoo going to be? That's what I want to know. Yeah, I mean, because that's an accomplishment. Hey, for those of you just getting here, this is Off Topic Hour. If you have any questions that have nothing to do with guitars, ask them. That's how we just get to know each other, be friends, hang out, do that kind of stuff. I was watching a video today. It was actually a firearms trainer guy. And he was talking about how he's like, I really want to focus on communication. Like being angry in comment sections and being a dumbass in comment sections, that's not communication. Like if you're going to do that, I'm just not going to engage with it, right? Like I want to communicate. Even if there's a disagreement, even if you don't agree with something, even if you hate me for how I think, if you can communicate that, like intelligently communicate that so that we can chat about it and have a constructive conversation, he's like, I'm all for it, even if you hate me. And I was like, yeah, exactly. That's what we try to do here, for sure. That's definitely what we try to do here. Hey, Dylan, off-topic question. What causes... that is not an off-topic question. That's a guitar question. Yes, I need Beaker from the Muppets. That is amazing. I love it. If you want to ask a guitar question after 9 o'clock, you can do it in a super chat, or you can show up earlier next week. Yeah, man, that's super cool. Yeah, tattoos are crazy. I have a bunch, and I don't ever see any end to it in sight. It's just so because of my accident in 2007, I'm in constant pain all the time, and there is something about focused pain. I don't the endorphins of that. That whole funny thing that people used to say, like, if your thumb hurts, stomp on your toes so you don't think about your thumb. But there's something to that. Like, it's crazy. I can go get a tattoo, and it actually is awesome if I'm really hurting. So, like, let's say right now, I'm really hurt. I'm really in pain right now. Because the weather's really bad right now. It's storming, and so I'm really in pain right now. So if I went and got a tattoo tomorrow, I would feel like high for like 2 days. And the pain in my back I'm not saying it would go away, but it would definitely... I would float on it instead of it stopping me. That's a really dumb thing to say, but that's what it feels like. It feels like I'm floating on the pain instead of it like stabbing me, if that makes sense. It doesn't, I'm sure it doesn't make sense to you, but getting a tattoo, that's what it does to me. Yeah, that's really neat, man. I dig it a lot. Well, a little bit slower night. I know it's a little different when Leslie's not here, so I appreciate everybody hanging out with me anyway, even though Leslie's not here, because she's the cool one. You're replacing one pain with another. That's the idea behind the pain stimulator devices for nerve pain. Yeah, I have one of those, and I use it for that reason. Yeah, I do. I use one of those. Man, I tell you, speaking of nerve pain, so for those of you that hang out and been around a bunch, you know that I'm just getting over, and I don't know that I'm just getting over. So I've done a bunch of research about this. You can have this for like a year, but I had a flare of shingles on my left torso right here, and that is basically an explosion of nerve pain is what the sores are. And so like there's times where if I touch a spot right here, it would hurt on the opposite side of my body, and not pain, like stab, like super, super painful, like make me collapse. And I have a very high pain tolerance. And then there's this other phenomena that only 1% of shingles sufferers get, where it attacks the nerves in your abdomen, and it basically looks like you have a fake hernia. So I have like this lump right here on my side. Only 1% of people that get shingles have it. Of course I'm going to get it. And that could take like a year to get past. So yeah, I've been fighting with a bunch of different stuff lately. It's been crazy. Still trying to maintain everything. But it's been a challenge trying to run the business and take care of the family and keep the grass cut and all that kind of stuff. Especially right now, it's raining every day. The grass is growing faster than anything. The tattoo experience wasn't nearly as painful as I thought it would be. Oh yeah, because you just got one, that Russian cartoon character, right? Yeah, that's super cool, man. Other off-topic news. Let's see. I weighed the dog yesterday. He's 73 pounds now. He was 18 when I got him at 3 months old, and now he is almost 11 months old, and he's 73. Oh, Leslie just got home. Do you think barrel porting for compensation is effective? Absolutely. Absolutely. It has to be done correctly. There's different schools of thought on how it's done. I have a bunch of different stuff. I have, let's see, I've got a 5-inch Smith & Wesson M&P Performance Center that has the barrel and the slide compensated at like 2 and 4. I have a SIG that only the slide is compensated. It has these like louvers in the top, but the barrel is then just shortened. That's not as effective, but it still is because it's only a 3-inch barrel, so it makes a big difference. I have a Shadow Systems MR920 with a threaded barrel and a screw-on comp. And that thing is amazing. That thing works really well. In fact, I think it works better than my Performance Center Smith & Wesson. Yeah, so I have a bunch of different stuff. Hey, who's here? Yeah, 73 pounds. He's getting big. He's getting big. By the way, you have nice knives. Notice some on your videos. Thanks, man. Yeah, I definitely, collecting knives is a thing for sure. So, well, you guys, this has been super fun. I'm gonna go hang out with Leslie and we'll watch some hockey and in that order, and hang out with my dog. And I hope you guys have a good night. I know it was a little shorter of a one tonight, a little weird because she wasn't there, but hey, happens sometimes. Thanks for everybody. Go to DylanTalksTone.com and check out all this new pickup design stuff that we've got. I hope you dig it. There's links to all of it in the description. And we will see you tomorrow for our driving around in the car video because I got one of those coming. We'll see you.